I'm starting to think that Michael Patrick King is listening to my YouTube channel because today they're out doing damage control. And they're doing damage control because you are so angry at Miranda and Steve and what they've done to their marriage that Michael Patrick King feels like he's got to be out there uh, managing the narrative, shall we say. And I'm going to read you a new article that one of my listeners just sent me. Thank you very much for that, by the way, because this is at Uproxx. It's called "And Just Like That, Creator Blames the Backlash to Che Diaz, TV's Most Hated Character, on people looking for a victim." But it's much deeper than that. Here we go. The internet has finally found something to agree on: hatred for Che Diaz. And Just Like That podcast host, who has one of the worst sex scenes in the history of television with Miranda, has been called TV's most hated character, the worst character on TV, and a real nightmare. But Michael Patrick King, who created Sex and the City, an HBO Max spinoff, has a different take on Che. And this is where I think he's been reading my articles and listening to my YouTube channel, because this is a direct response to the article that I wrote today, just today. So it's interesting that he came out with this today. And in my article, I'm standing up for your boring marriage and telling you that it's not bad just because it's routine. And listen to his response. I said in the writing room, get ready, because what's coming is outrage about Miranda calling out her marriage. Whoever is in the activating of that will be an issue. But the real issue is, and I say this with love, 90% of long-term relationships are watching television, sharing dessert, and talking about kids, he told Variety. Like that's a bad thing, Michael Patrick King? What the hell? See, this is exactly what I was talking about when I called out this bullshit on pjmedia.com, where I write. I called it out today, saying that this is about attacking marriage. It's about attacking good marriages. Miranda's marriage wasn't a bad marriage. I mean, the way they portrayed it is exactly the way most of us have marriages, except for the fact with the no sex for years. I mean, that was just absurd. But I mean, having dessert on the couch is supposed to be some kind of omen, some bad omen for your marriage. I mean, ridiculous. All right, let's keep going. Keep going. King blames the Che Diaz backlash on people looking for a villain. Che is, in my estimation, honest, dangerous, sexy, funny, and warm. Did you guys get that from Che? Honest? No, definitely not honest. Definitely not honest at all. Cheating with somebody's wife. Uh, Dangerous? Yes, dangerous to marriages, dangerous to friendships. Sexy? Definitely not. Funny? Definitely not. And warm? Would you call somebody warm who lights up a joint in an elevator or at a funeral? Someone who pushes drugs on you when you don't want them? Someone who offers drugs to your minor child? What everybody else is projecting on that character has a lot to do with what they want to have happened to Miranda in this story. It has so little to do with Che. And just like that, viewers might disagree. And then they showed some tweets here. Che Diaz has been a 20-month experiment by Harvard University. Our study is now complete. Thank you for your time. Tom Smith said, Che Diaz is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. That's how I feel every time Che Diaz is on screen. The producers, the audience. That's a good one. Deeply unsettling to realize I was the Che Diaz of my college dorm. There's a Che Diaz emoji. For better or for worse, there's only one more chance to hate Che Diaz. And Just Like That season whatever series final premieres on February 3rd. Okay. I really do believe that Michael Patrick King read my article. What article, you might say? Well, maybe you missed it. And if you did miss it, I'm going to show you right now which article I'm talking about. Let's see. Do I have it pulled up? If I don't, I'm going to have to find it. No, I don't have it pulled up. Okay, hold on. So I wrote this article and it published today, and it is called, and I'll drop it in the description for you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that alarm bell so that you get notified whenever I am dropping a new video, because I appear to do these like every single day, sometimes twice a day. Here's my article that I just wrote today. Well, not today. Yesterday? So I guess it was yesterday. So yesterday I write this, and today he's out responding to it, I think. Here's what I'm saying. Okay, here's the part that he's responding to, I believe. The deeper issue that is making blood boil across the fan base is the absolute disregard for long term marriage that the writers are pushing on the audience. We are supposed to believe that Miranda's marriage is stale, boring, sexless, and dead because they spend their time sharing dessert on the couch while Netflix and chilling. Am I the only one who thinks, what else are 55-year-old people supposed to be doing on a Tuesday night during the pandemic? And then I polled all my coworkers, and I talked to them about their marriage routines. And these are all very happily married people who have been married for a very long time. I'm talking between 20 and 33 years. That's over 100 years between just us four people. Over 150 years of marriage, you know, between four of us. So come on now. I think, and looking to my own parents who are still married and my husband's parents who are still married, yes, there are routines. Yes, marriage becomes routine, but it's the routine that a lot of us really like. And some of us, when we were 20, were looking for. Most people at 25 or whatever, when they're out there on that dating scene, which is so awful, seriously, it is like escaping the last helicopter out of Nam that I got married before internet dating became a thing. Um, we feel for you out there, those of you who are single. I feel for you very deeply because I see what some of you are going through, and it's absolutely hell. And for Michael Patrick King to, weigh in here with his, again, with that 90% number. I used that number in this article, by the way. It was here. Here, I'll show you. So he repeated it again. So he's doubling down. He's doubling down and saying that 90% of us are unhappy with our routine in marriage. I'm sorry, MPK, but it's just not true that we're unhappy. That's just not true. Look at the comments on my channel from all the happily married people who have their own routines that they talked about. There are people in my comments section, hundreds of them, saying, I've got a boring routine and I like it. I've got a routine with my husband and I wouldn't have it any other way. So yeah, if 90% of marriages are talking about our kids and watching TV and having dessert, why is that bad? Here, this is what I quoted in the article. These routines sound like marital bliss to me, but the writers of And Just Like That are disdainful of normal married life. During one of the writers' podcasts, which seemed to have no other purpose than for AJLT writers to pat each other on the back, one of them says the pandemic has been a come to Jesus moment for couples asking, is this the rest of my life? Is this what I choose? Skipping down a few lines, she continued to claim that 90% of married couples identify with their depiction of what marriage is, whittled down to nightly boring routines. And then we have Michael Patrick King responding to this article. There's no other way to put it. He responded to this article, which I'm really glad he read it. I'm so glad. Fuck you, Michael Patrick King. I hope you read it, and I hope it made you feel like shit, because you are terrible at this. The way you have depicted long-term marriages is offensive. It's offensive to people. And I'm glad that he is reading my articles. I'm glad that he's finally getting what he needs to hear from the audience. And I'm sorry that he's doubling down on it instead of just saying, hey, you know what? I think I offended like 90% of the audience. And that's the 90% he should be worried about. The 90% of you who he offended. Stop trying to tell us that there's something wrong in our marriages because we have routines that we enjoy. That was the other thing, that dessert routine. One of the writers took that from her own life. That's something that she does. I don't remember which one it was. It might have been Julie Rottenberg. But she said that came directly from her routine with her husband. How do you think her husband feels about her depicting that in a dead marriage? Not to mention, why does she do it? She probably does it because she enjoys it, and I bet her husband enjoys it too. So making it this thing that is supposed to symbolize a dead and dying marriage when it's something nice that you do in your own marriage, there's something really fucked up about that. And I hate it. And I'm really glad I'm sure Michael Patrick King read my article. Someone sent it to him because there's no other explanation for why Uproxx gave him the opportunity to respond, and he basically quoted it back to me. Oh, it's great. I'm Megan Fox. I write with PJ Media. Please check me out at pjmedia.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe and keep your comments coming. Do you think Michael Patrick King responded to me? I do. All right, everybody, take care.